Okay, welcome Facebook. We're talking about marriage. So, as I was saying, one of the things that I see is people drag around their past with them. And we bring it into our new relationships. So as an example, my past was dictated by pretty girls using me for things. And most of the time it was because I got good drugs. And so there wasn't really a lot of commitment there. And so when I met my wife, I struggled with a real big insecurity of not being worthy enough to be in love with a girl as pretty as she is. And I thought, what do I have to offer? I don't have drugs. I don't have a nice car. You know, I'm not like the slimmest fit guy in the world, you know. What do I have to offer? You know, but the thing is, when you find that right person, what you have to offer is the most amazing thing that they want, and that's your heart. That's your dedication. That's your love for them. That's knowing that they can depend on you when the times get tough, that they can celebrate you when the times are good. My wife is my backbone. She is the strength of our relationship. She keeps me from doing things that I probably shouldn't be doing and should have the wherewithal, but sometimes my brain doesn't connect these things. And she's like, slow down there, big guy. People, it's okay if you don't punch them in the face today. Like, you understand? She keeps me in check. And in the same note, because I love her, there's areas where she emotionally spins out of control that I have to help her rope it back in. But I'll tell you the cool thing about our marriage is that no matter what, we always meet in the center, and in the center is always Jesus. Both of our wedding rings have in Jesus' name inscribed on the inside of them, because we fully felt that when we become married, that it's a three-strand cord. It's us and Jesus. And so we want to celebrate our relationship with Him continually. So the same works in the dating world. Don't drag your trash into that relationship. If you haven't been healed from your past relationships, then do what you need to, whether it be coming to a place like this and getting the spiritual taken care of along with the physical, or if it's going and seeing somebody like a psychologist or, you know, somebody of that nature. But go and get rid of your trash. Because you drag it into your relationship, and then you wonder why you go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, and it never works out. Because we're gripped and we're bound by our fear. Right? My fear was I'm not worthy enough. This lady's going to leave me the first chance she gets because I'm not, you know, what I would consider ultimately attractive, you know. But she didn't care about that. She loved my heart. And she certainly wasn't after me for money. This is for sure not. Okay? But she loved my heart. And God put us together. On our wedding day, we took communion together. And as we were saying our vows, the presence of the Lord was so heavy, it was almost hard to stand. And I knew it was her. And I knew she was the one. You see, love and marriage, it's work. You're married 365 days of the year, and you will work 365 days of those years. But it's commitment. So when I do premarital counseling with people, I tell them there's 4 basic things that will always keep a marriage working. Number 1 is love. Love has to be the center of your marriage at all times. Number 2, and just as important as love, is forgiveness. Okay? Forgiveness is absolutely 100% mandatory. Don't say it, do it. Okay? If you say, I've forgiven you, and then next week you throw what happened last Saturday in their face, you haven't forgiven them. You have to actually forgive them and release it. Okay? Number 3 is appreciation. If you don't show your spouse or your significant other or your boyfriend or your girlfriend appreciation, do you think they're going to be really willing to do anything for you? No, because you don't appreciate them. Appreciation is mostly shown in what we call love languages. Okay? One of the ways that I appreciate my wife is we have a date night every Friday night. Phone goes off. Everything that has to do with motorcycle club and life and this and that and job and everything, it goes off. I don't answer my phone. I don't play games. I don't do anything. I'm appreciating her in this time. This is all her. And this is what my wife does for 45 minutes. But that's one of her barrels. We'll get into the barrels. Okay? But I appreciate her. Another way that I appreciate her, random flowers. I've gotten a lot of husbands in trouble because I ask if there's a lady present. I say, "Excuse me, yes. Do you like those flowers?" "Oh yes, those are very nice." "Awesome. If I brought those home, would you be impressed by this?" "Yes, I would." "Perfect. I'll take those." And I had one lady say, "Oh, is it her birthday?" "No." "Anniversary?" "No." "What are you buying flowers for?" "She's a good wife." I'm going to have a talk with my husband tonight. I said, "Uh-oh. Lord, please bless this man." That's an appreciation. The way that she shows me that she appreciates me is that she cooks all of my meals. She makes sure I have food to go to work. She preps my clothes. She does so many things for me. I feel like I'm not holding my part of the bargain. But she also knows I work 60 hours a week and I pay all the bills. So we have a good trade. So if you looked at us, you would say we have a traditional marriage. You know, she takes care of the home, I take care of the finances, so on and so forth. That works for us. I'm not standing over her saying I'm going to control the money. She has every right to the bank account. She has logins to the bank account. She has her own bank card. She has her own credit card. She has anything she wants to do, she knows. But we have an agreement. When it comes to money and finances, you don't spend any money over $10 unless we talk about it. It's real simple. It's agreement. Agreement is one of the most powerful things you can have in a marriage, in a relationship. So number 4 is compromise. People say, compromise? Why do I have to compromise? Well, because you're two individuals with different opinions. No. My wife likes lights on. I don't like lights on. Lights cost money. If I had it my way, we would watch TV in complete darkness. Because lights cost money. This is what we call being in the man cave, right? The nothing box. We're going there, right? My wife likes to have light and sunshine and, all this going on. So the compromise is that I put away what I think is costing money and not worry about it. And I compromise and I say, you know what, have your lights on, babe. If it makes you happy, have your lights on. Okay? She compromises. I'm in a motorcycle club. Most weekends I'm gone with the motorcycle club, doing my thing. That is her compromise for me. She understands that this takes away from our relationship, but she also loves it because she knows it's a passion for me, and it's a form of ministry for me. It's compromise. She's an artist. I don't want to hear about her art project because she starts explaining it and I have no idea what she's talking about. But the compromise is, and the appreciation is that when she's done with it, I love to see it because now I can visualize what she will see and I can appreciate her gifts and her talents. It works the same way in dating. It works the same way in Christianity, in our fellowship with one another. Okay, you gotta love your brothers and sisters. You gotta forgive them. You gotta appreciate them. You gotta compromise sometimes. I compromise a lot as a pastor. If you knew how often my phone rings off the hook with people going, "Oh, I just want to be in my problem all day today, and I just want to blame you for it." Okay, well, let's start talking about this, and let's start moving through it, and so on and so forth. But you gotta love one another. It's important. Unity in the body is extremely important, especially in today's times right now. It's going to be really important. So, what does the Bible say about marriage and relationships? Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body of which is either the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Now, anytime we hear that submit word, it sounds like we're taking a position of weakness, right? I'm submitting. So if you want to put another word in there, put love. Put love. Wives, love your husband. And in this, you will be okay in submitting to him, because you're not submitting to his rule, you are submitting to his partnership. What I know about my wife in particular is when I become a leader of the household and I lead, she likes to follow. She likes to agree with me. When I become the spiritual leader of our household and I say, tonight's a prayer night, she gets excited. When I say tonight's a date night, she gets excited. When I say, what do you want to do? She gets excited. When I say, where do you want to eat? We talk about that for 3 hours. You understand? It's not that I'm in control of her, it's that I appreciate her. And because she knows she's appreciated, she submits to the things that I want. Just in return, as we'll see in the next verse, I love her for this, you see? And so it says, husbands, love your wife, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body just as Christ does the church. Okay? So, right there, God's basically saying, I'm going to make you leader, but you got to take care of her. You got to take care of her. So how do I take care of her? Well, I love her. I forgive her. I appreciate her. Right? And I compromise. One of my love languages is I like to spoil her. That's one of my love languages. My wife is cool because she likes power tools. So it's easy to spoil her because I work in the automotive industry and the Snap-on truck comes around all the time. So come home with a $500 power tool for her birthday, she's stoked. Right? But you see, I know this about her. Just the same as I figured out, we were having about a week-long spat. It wasn't really arguing, we were just kind of at each other. And so what I figured out was my wife misses nature. So we had to go to the mountains, and we had to get her around some trees. And it changed her whole week. You understand? If I didn't love and I didn't care for her and I didn't appreciate her and I wasn't looking at her as the example that God gave here, I wouldn't care. I'd just say, get over it. But I knew there was something wrong. And I wanted to find the solution. So my wife, she has really, really got it against her because, man, we're fixers. We like to fix things. And I'm an auto mechanic. So she's really screwed. Because I know I can fix things. I've learned something over the years that is really, really amazing, and it works very well. I've learned that it's okay for me to understand her instead of be understood. in the same realm, she's learned, okay, I can only push him this far before he turns into the Incredible Hulk and destroys the living room. You understand? It's love. When I'm down, she builds me up. When she's down, I build her up. Okay? So, how do you do this? Pastor Bryan, that sounds great. That's what I want. How do I do this? Very simple. They're called barrels. Everybody has them, and they all run empty. Okay? So we were taught this in our premarital counseling. And one of the things that I really liked about it was it gave you a communication tool. So you can look and you can say, hey, honey, yeah, notice something's wrong. Yeah. What barrel is empty right now? The affection barrel. I just want you to give me a hug. Okay. Because I'm a man, and when I come home from work, I go to the nothing box. But her love barrel is empty. Her affection barrel is empty. Her talk barrel is empty. So I have to figure out what barrel is empty. Women have thousands of empty barrels. Men, we have a few. The main ones are food, sex, and sleep. Okay? And we have a couple others. Like one of my barrels that she is nice enough to fulfill is I like her to go to MC events with me every once in a while. That's a barrel that needs to be filled. Okay? A dual barrel that we share is the motorcycle. We like to go on motorcycle rides together. I'll tell you what, nothing in the world will ever beat a marriage counselor more than a motorcycle. You get on that motorcycle, the best marriage counselor you've ever had. Alright? You just forget about it. Now, there are times when multiple barrels are empty and all you can do is maybe fill one or two. Please be understanding and compromise when all the barrels can't be filled that day. Sometimes the best I can do is fill the affection barrel, but I can't fill the talk barrel that night because I'm just too tired. Okay? Sometimes the sex barrel goes empty because she's just not there. You understand? And that's a major barrel for a man. Okay? If you ladies don't know what it's like to be a man, here's an example. Okay? You could be laying in a hospital bed with limbs severed, and she could walk by in that perfect dress, and I'll be like, hey, baby. That's what it's like for a man. Okay? So the old saying is very simple. Women need a reason and men need a place. So for us, it's a physical thing, right? Now, if you're in love with your wife, it's also a connection thing. So for me, sex is a connection thing to my wife. For her, it's a connection thing, but it's not just a guy, we're ready in seconds. Girls, they need a little romancing. They need some persuasion. They need to watch you do your little thing for a minute there, and then they're ready. That's the differences between us. In marriage, you figure out how to compromise in that area and find what works for you. Now a barrel's being filled. So you're having a little bit of a disagreement or struggling in your marriage, start talking to each other about what barrels are empty. Or in your relationship with boyfriend and girlfriend. Start talking to each other about what barrel's empty right now. Okay? So, let's go into my favorite part of marriage. You ready? Love language. What is your love language? Do you know what your love language is? My love language is doing anything it takes to make her smile. That's my love language. We went and spent $1,000 on a bed yesterday. And she smiled all day about it. And she's been learning from the husband too, because she walked out with some free pillows, because that's how I negotiate. You understand? And then we went and had her favorite lunch. And then we got her favorite Starbucks drink. And then we went home and watched movies together. And I watched her smile all day. That's love language. Her love language to me is that she makes sure the house is clean, the laundry's done, my lunch is made. She makes sure that she lets me do my thing with my brothers. She encourages me continually. You understand? She never leaves my side. She always has my back. And I don't trust people very much in this world, and I trust her. And that's a big statement for me. That's her love languages. Those are the things that say so much without saying anything. We constantly tell each other that we love each other. But it's those physical things that you do to present your love language to your significant other that's going to make a big, big difference in having a successful relationship. It's the same thing with God. God shows us love language all the time. When He heals you, He's showing you His love language. When He delivers you from an oppression, He's showing you His love language. When He blesses you, He's showing you His love language. When He forgives you, He's showing you His love language. And we have to show it back to Him. See, when we worship Him, we're showing Him our love language. When we talk to Him, we show Him our love language. When we read His Word, we show Him our love language. When you let Him sit on the throne of your home, you're showing Him a love language. I promise you this, and don't take it the wrong way here. God's not upset at us, but I'm telling you, He sits eagerly up there waiting to commune with you. Every opportunity He gets. He sits up there saying, man, can I get 5 minutes? Can I get 10 minutes? Can we just talk? Will you worship me right now? Will you love me? Is that YouTube video that much more important than me? I'm guilty of that one. One of the things we've been trying to practice is we come home and we just turn the worship music on. We don't turn on the TV. We don't do anything. We give God His time first. And then we have dinner and then we zone out on TV. But we want to make sure that God feels the priority. We've got to demonstrate our love languages to Him. And He's going to pour right back out on us. He does it every time. Every single time. So, we're going to kill the YouTube. Bye, everybody here, Facebook and all that stuff. And we're going to kill that. We do ministry here, but we don't like to do it live in case